Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome in. I'm all about the spiritual ascension and the unknown. I'm a natural born seer, clairvoyant, clairaudient, and in 2020, I believe that's when I very first started to ascend. I woke up from 3D, okay? So I've been able to see spirits as far as back as I can remember. Cryptids, mystical creatures, shadow people. Now looking back, extraterrestrial, I didn't know what they were. Um, I've had encounters. I thought they were demons. I was brought up in a church, God-fearing home background, you know. Born and raised in church, all right? So, 2020, now let me jump back real fast. As a kid, my life was almost unbearable because I felt energy. I was highly empathic, highly sensitive. I could hear, I could see, and there was really nobody around me that could tell me, you know, it's okay. This is what you're experiencing. So I'd say probably about 14, maybe even 13. I started to go through a depression. I started self-medicating. I had dreams of my mother and my sister passing for 2 years. So I really started self-medicating. We moved into a house 1989. Now, at this point, for 2 years, I had been having a relationship with my sister's deceased father, which would be my mother's first husband that we were not aware of. She never told us about him. The only reason why we found out who he was is because he was contacting me. And just one day, I was 7 years old. It wasn't too long after I had got saved at church. Now, when I say saved, I'll never forget that day at church. I remember them telling me, open my arms up. So I believe Jesus is my Lord and Savior, that he died on the cross for my sins. Yes, 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 to all answers. And she was like, now receive him. And she started patting me on my chest. And looking back, I don't know what happened that day, but something shot inside of me. Like I felt something. It knocked me to the ground. I want to say it was within 2 months after that incident. Saturday morning, never forget it, about 8:30. Mom's cooking breakfast. I have two sisters. I'm the middle child. So they were outside on the porch playing, right? I am inside the house with my mother. My mom's in the kitchen, but I'm in the living room. And I'm sitting there watching my favorite Saturday cartoons. And I can't remember the name of the show, you guys, but Goofy. He was like a dog or something. And so Donald Duck, I'm watching my show, and yes, I got the TV blasting. What kids didn't have the TV blasting? Would be right there in front of the screen. So all of a sudden, I hear my name, and it's not my birth name, it's my nickname. Now, even today, being the age that I am, when I'm out and about, a lot of times when I hear my birth name, I don't respond. That's not how you grab my attention. A lot of people call me by this nickname. I've had it my whole life. I hear, by the way, I was named after Winnie the Pooh Bear because my aunt said I was yellow and chubby. And I reminded her, and she said they just wanted nothing but kisses, and I gave them honey. So she named me Pooh, like Pooh Bear. So I hear Pooh. There's nobody in the house but me and my mom. So, yes, ma'am. I hear my mother say, I didn't call you. And I thought to myself, yes, she did. Whatever. I go back to watching my cartoons. A couple minutes later, Pooh. Now, this time, I heard the voice, but remember, the TV's blasting. I hear the water running in the kitchen. It did not sound like my mother. The first time it didn't. But there's only me and her in the house, and I'm 7 years old. So I'm assuming it's her. It's not my sisters. They're outside. The door's closed. And this voice is coming from around. It couldn't have been it was right here to the right side of me, which is, or if you go around the corner, there's the kitchen. So, okay. Anyways, so I answer, yes, Mom. And she goes, I didn't call you again. I'm hearing tapping. Maybe I shouldn't do these videos, you guys. I mean, it's already so active. It seemed like all it's doing is just making it more active. My God. I think I'm gonna stop. Yeah, I'm good. It's too many noises. It's okay. I don't feel nothing negative. I'm gonna push through. I don't feel nothing negative. I don't. So the third time, it's a couple minutes later, I hear it again. Pooh. This time it was a little bit closer. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. My mother comes around that corner and never forget it. She still had the soap suds bubbles on her hands and a hand towel hanging on her arm right here. She's drying her hands off and she goes, what's wrong with you? And I said, nothing. I'm watching cartoons. You keep calling my name. And I remember for just a second, she gave me this really strange look. And then she snapped and she was like, go outside. Get dressed, go upstairs, get dressed, and take your butt outside. I'll call you when the food's done. But, Mom, I'm trying to watch my cartoons. Like, this is what I did on Saturday morning. This was my ritual. And it ain't went off yet. And she was like, you heard what I said. Fine. So I get up. I stomp all the way up the steps. This is before we move into the other house, you guys. Get in the room, trying to pull out some clothes out the drawer. I was mad. And then I hear, please don't be afraid of me. And I turn around and I'm looking. It's a man. And I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, I'm 7. I have not been exposed to, my mom sheltered us. The most we were exposed to was their little parties, which we didn't get to be a part of. We'd hear the music. We hear them partying. We were upstairs. By the time the adults partied, we were put in the bed. So my mother sheltered us from a lot of things. So understand that. So I'm like, okay, there's no one here. And he goes, I want to be your friend. Now, at the age of 7, when you hear a friend, so I'm like, but where are you? He goes, so I had a spirit teach me how to see. Ain't that something, y'all? He goes, I'm going to show you how to see me. He said, do you want to see me? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, close your eyes. So I remember doing this real tight, and he started laughing. He said, no, silly. He said, just slowly, softly close your eyes. He said, don't squeeze them. So I opened my eyes back and I closed them. He said, like you're going to sleep. And I'm just standing there in the middle of my room. It is in the morning. The sun is out. I don't see anything, I said. He goes, just wait. Just wait. He said, relax. You're trying too hard. And that sounds like somebody walked. Just because I'm talking about it does not mean I'm inviting anything. You sure want my attention, don't you? So I softly closed my eyes and I waited. And I told him, I said, I can't see you. He goes, just, that sound like 3 times. It sound like this. Wait a minute. Yeah, you did it. Okay. That's enough. Don't make me pull up this sage. That's enough. So anyways, I'm not afraid of nothing. It's just, y'all, it's okay. I mean, I'm not saying I'm used to it, but hell, I am. So I started to get this. It was like, it started changing. And I started to like, it almost looked like a cloud came in. I don't know how else to explain it. And then this cloud started to open up in the center. Not an orb, a cloud. Mind you, I'm 7. And so in the center of it though, so like imagine a frame, a picture frame, and it's a cloud. And I'm looking in the center. That's what happened. Because the thing stayed around, the cloud did. And I see, oh no, tapping at the window now. And I see, it's just spirits trying to get my attention. And I do feel like they're random. So respect my boundaries. Thank you. Because I would hate to send y'all somewhere where you can't get out of. So I start to see this house. And I see a screen door open. And next thing I know, I see this black man and 2 Caucasian children, a boy and a girl. And he had a suit on. So they gave him, the little boy and girl gave them one of their gloves, a green one and a red one. Pay attention, remember them colors. Green and red. A lot of times them ships, them UFOs that I be seeing, flashes red and green lights. Now I know that the American drone also has red and green lights, but y'all, there's a difference. There's a difference in the shape. It just, our drones aren't going straight up like rockets. You know what I'm saying? Like it, or 1 minute they're flying, the next minute they just straight disappear. You know, in thin air, like they literally slipped into a different dimension. So that was my first day with him. By the time we moved into the house on Danoon, it had been 2 years. So that was 1987. We moved into the house on Danoon in 1989. So at this point, I did hear like whispers. Like when I would go outside and play, I remember my mom used to say, "Who are you talking to?" No one, you know, I would just giggle. I could hear whispers in the wind. And it was like little fairies looking back. I didn't know what they were back then. Nature spirits. I don't know. But they were very sweet, very kind. I felt so much love in my backyard. Like when my mother would struggle with drug addiction and stuff, the house would become cold and uncaring. And I could go out in that backyard and I felt so much love by the bushes and the tree. Like, it was unbelievable. And I just remember her always saying, you have a vivid imagination. So she said that a lot. And I remember asking my teacher one day, what is imagination? And she explained it to me. So at a young age, I'm thinking that it's just my imagination. This isn't real. None of it is real. My sister got, I guess, I think she was jealous, my oldest sister, because it was her father. Like, she was like, you're just desperate for a friend. You've imaginated my father speaking to you like something's wrong with you. You're sick. You're this. And I think it was jealousy because this is her dad. And yes, he did have messages for her. And when we were younger, she would listen. But then as we got older, when I was like 9, 10, she started shutting me down. Like, because she's what? If I'm 9, she was 11. So when I was 7, she was 9. She's 2 years older than me. We moved into that house. When we moved into that house, that's when everybody's energy changed. The house came with something. Have you ever heard of this? Seeing the spiritual infrastructure? So the house, the infrastructure of a house, you see the wires, the pipes, the copper. Imagine seeing the spiritual infrastructure of a house. You're going to see doors that aren't on the blueprint. Rooms, hidden rooms that you don't, even if you were to tear down a wall, you may or may not find it. This house was a mansion. So it was 4 times its size. I saw the spiritual infrastructure of the house and this house. But the house we moved into in 1989, the day we pulled in, my mother went to clean it, because that's what she did for a living. And she worked something out with the landowner, the house owner, should I say, because he didn't own the land. But if she cleaned the house, instead of him having to pay someone, could he knock off half the security deposit? And he agreed. It's the weekend. We go over there, no school, and we beg Mom to go, me and my youngest sister. So she's like, all right, I'm going to be there all day. So make sure you eat something. I'm not going home. I'm not going to take you back home. We didn't care. We wanted to go. I felt fine. That house made me sick, y'all. It didn't just make me sick that day. I believe my chronic illnesses came from that house. Every one of us that lived there got sick. Okay? And that's why I tell you guys, I know what it is to live around demons. To be somewhere where there is a lot of negative energy. As soon as we pull in the driveway, I got sick as a dog. I mean, sick as a dog. And my mother, she looks back at me and she's like, what the hell? Did you eat? Like if you skip breakfast, you can get sick. I ate, though. I ate. It's like something just came over me. And she's like, well, I got some, medicine, but she didn't bring anything to drink. And I thought, are we supposed to be here all day? You didn't bring nothing. You didn't even pack sandwiches. You didn't bring water, nothing. Maybe she planned on running to the store to, grab us something. But she's like, I don't even have a cup. So you're going to have to come into the house, use your hands to swallow this medicine. As soon as we stepped foot in the house, y'all, my mother had to grab me. It was an energy vortex, and it was spinning. It felt like the whole house was doing this. The fun houses at the fair where the floor is going, moving around, and you're trying to walk, and it's like, that's exactly what it felt like. And she had to grab me, because I was going down. I couldn't even stand up. Oh my God. Just looking back, I warned her. I told her. I said, Mom, this house is bad. Something's wrong with this house. Something's wrong with this house. And I remember her looking at me like, I've already sign the lease. There's nothing I can do. And she's like, let's just give it 1 year. And if it's not good, we'll leave. We're there for 8 hours that day. And I remember at one point, she gave us some brooms and told us to go to the basement, sweep the floor. I don't even know how my youngest sister knew what this damn star was, because I didn't even know what it was. But we get down there, and there's a big star with chalk drawn on the basement floor, and in each corner, there was candle wax, and then there was a picture taped to the base up on the wall, you know. And my sister's like, I wonder if this is the lady that lived here, because there was a woman that stayed there before us. She stayed there, I think, it was 2 or 3 years by herself in a huge 3-bedroom house. And she was doing witchcraft there. So we go get our mom to show her. We can't get it up. My mother took one look at that and she screamed. She rushed us out that house. You would have thought she would have left too, but she didn't. She made us sit outside while she did some type of, I think my mother prayed. I know she cleaned it up, but I believe she kind of like rebuked and all that, you know. It didn't do anything. If anything, it pissed it off. So after that, she told us we'd come back in. She told us to have a seat in the living room and don't go nowhere. So, until she's finished. So we're sitting there, and I got up to go into the kitchen to get some water. And I'm trying to see how much longer we got. And I hear my sister laughing, like she's talking to somebody. And so I come into the, I'm in the dining room getting ready to cut the corner. And I see her looking at the big window. And when I step in, there's no one there. So I'm like, who are you talking to? And she's like, the boy. Long story short, this would happen like 2-3 more times until I finally caught him. He then lured me and my sister down the end of that block to these woods. And the whole thing was, do you want to see something? And then when we get there, he goes, you dare me to eat this glass? He chewed the glass, swallowed it, opened his mouth, not a drop of blood. I've never seen that like that before. You can hear the glass crunching in his mouth. I felt an urgency. Before he ate the glass, I knew we needed to get out of there, So right after that, I felt a darkness come out of him. And I said, Mom's calling us. We got to go. We got to go. She'll spank us. Like, I got real dramatic. My youngest says, I don't hear anything. And I'm like, come on. I'm grabbing her arm. And she's pulling back from me because we got to go up. Like at the end of the street, there was this patch of woods, but it was like a hill, a dive, a ravine, a trail that took you down. Then you got to go back up. So I'm trying to drag her up. I kept feeling this like he's going to grab us. He's going to grab her. And I'm like, my mother, she's insane. She's got, she's got a weapon. She'll use it, if we don't come out. And so as soon as we get to the top, I still see him. He's like, it looks like he's coming up the hill, but not really. And then I hear my mother's voice. She hadn't been calling us, but as soon as it's like, so my sister hears it and she stops fighting. And I told her, so I'm telling mom that you were trying to stay here when I told you we need to go. So we start running. I remember just glancing over my shoulder. He did not follow. My mother, she went off on us and she was so upset. So at this point, she's like, you guys are going home. Something could have happened to you. You're going home. So she drops us off and she goes, no, matter of fact, she goes back the next day. She didn't go back that same day. When she came back, I just remember getting home from church because we went for Sunday service or whatever. She wasn't going to church at this time. And I got home probably about 1, 2. And she asked me, she goes, what did that boy look like? I said, what boy? She said, the boy that took y'all to the woods. And so I described him to her. And she said, I seen him. I said, where'd you see him? She said, I was cleaning, vacuuming the floor and stuff, and I just felt something watching me. And I looked up, and there he was on the porch looking through this huge, like it was like a double size window in the living room. And he was just standing there, she said, watching her. Made her very uncomfortable. And so she said she came to the door, to this, opened up the door, and she said, you stay off my property. If I ever see you around here again, I'm going to call the police. And I said, then what happened? And she said, that's it. I didn't see him anymore. That boy came with the house. Understand what I'm telling you? We moved in. We lived there 9 years. And I understand my mother made a threat, and my mom was something else. That was loud. That was the basement. My mother was something else. But that boy came with the house. I don't think he was a real person. Is it a possibility he was a spirit? Yeah. But I saw so much stuff in that house, you guys. I feel like the house itself, because of the woman that did the witchcraft, she definitely opened up some doors. There's no doubt in my mind on that. But I feel like the house was taking a shape and form. Like it could take its own shape and like cook something up and spit it out. You get what I'm saying? There was a period of time, we experienced it too. I seen it. And then my cousin moved in for a brief period of time, and she started seeing it. This older lady with gray hair. Her hair looked like a mop almost, okay? Like a mop head. We're down there playing hide and seek in the dark during the day. So there was a little bit of light coming through the windows, but not much. And the way our basement was, everything was in the center. So it was like a circle. You could run around. It was pretty cool. So I'm in between the water heater and the furnace. And I understand today, pipes and stuff. Like some of that could be that, what we're hearing. But I heard a clap. And it was right beside me. Listen, it did not come in front of me where the water heater and the furnace was at. It was right here. And it was right in my ear. It was a clap. I know what I heard. And when I looked, because I thought it was my sister messing with me. When I looked, that's when I saw a figure, It looked like an old lady with a mop head. Freaked me out. I screamed. I was like, turn on the light. And I have no idea. I think she was under the steps or whatever. And that's my fridge. That's when I heard my sister, it sounded like something hit the steps. And I looked up, and she left me, y'all. She started running. She wasn't hiding under them stairs. And when I said, turn on the light, she knew I saw something. So, boom. That's when I went to turn, and I bumped into someone. I was like, Tara. And then I heard the basement door open. I ran the opposite. I bumped into the lady. I ran the opposite way, ran up the steps, and my sister was upstairs. She was like, when you said turn on the light, it scared me. And I said, who's in the basement? She was like, it was just me and you. We didn't go back in that basement for a long time. You hear me? Even with the lights on, we were scared to play in that basement. We did not. That's where that lady did her seances and all that stuff. So my cousin, moving forward, I think I was like 9 or 10 when that happened. My cousin moves in. I think I was 11, maybe between 10 and 11. My mother's trying to help her. Some lady got her information and did a bunch of damage, and she had warrants for her arrest. And so my mother fixed up the basement, just an area. She hung some curtains and created like a room. Okay, she put a bed down there, stereo. You know, she hooked it up for her. So, long story short, I say maybe 2 weeks into it, I heard my mother fussing a little bit, and she was like, you can't sleep on the couch. You got a whole room down there. She was scared to tell my mother what she was experiencing. So that happened a couple of times. I say about 3 or 4 times. And my mother was like, what? You deny food. You act like you don't want to eat. But when I wake up, you done ransack the refrigerator. Like, I think she was shy to eat because she was on the heavier side. But then she would eat at night. And, a lot of the lunch meat would disappear. A half a load of bread. So my mom put it together. She's upstairs to watch TV and to eat up the food. So one night, it's a weekend. Matter of fact, it was Thursday night. The weekend was coming, and we're sitting there watching TV together. It's almost time to go to bed. Once I go to bed, she's got to go downstairs. And so she asked me, she said, do you still see, spirits and stuff? And I said, I sometimes. And she goes, would you believe me if I told you there's a woman that keeps coming to me when I'm sleeping downstairs? And she stands over top of me. And I'm looking at her like, yeah. I believe you, cuz. I believe you. And she was like, I'm not making it up. I tried to tell your mom, but she doesn't believe me. I said, well, why don't you, mommy pray and bless the basement? And she was like, she did. And she gave me a Bible and stuff, because we were going to church around that time. So she asked me, let me close this window, y'all, because I got my cookies right here. I'm trying to cool them off, but I don't want them to get cold. So she's like, can you, just for one night, she was like, we'll have a sleepover. Can you sleep downstairs with me? She said, just once. And if you don't see nothing, I'll never talk about it again. Because my mom, like I said, felt like she was playing. That was her way of coming upstairs to eat. And if she was really seeing something, because she started to get emotional, that it was a nightmare. So all day at school, I'm thinking about this show. She didn't told me. She didn't told me what it looked like, and I'm like, oh, I promised I would do it. So Friday come, out of school, and we get home, and she's like, you promised? I'm like, yeah, but that's not till tonight. So my mother's aware that I'm going to be sleeping in the basement. And she's like, well, don't watch no scary movies tonight. And I'm like, oh, man, that was our thing on the weekend. And she was like, you'll thank me later. Don't try to watch nothing scary before you go down there. So we agreed. We won't watch no scary movies. Like, that's going to add to it. So long story short, it's time for bed. So we head down there. We go down to the basement, and she turns on her music. She asked me if it was okay. I'm like, yeah, I can do it. And she was like, okay, because I can't sleep without hearing the radio music. So I'm like, it's fine. I'm tired. We laid there and talked. We laid there and talked for probably about an hour. I remember dozing off. I was so sleepy. Now she's she would not let me sleep on the side closest to the damn stairs, y'all. She made me sleep because she knew. She knew she was going to want to run. Every time it happened, she would run up the steps. So I'm just like, whatever, fine, I'm sleeping further away. I fall asleep at some point talking. And what wakes me up, I'm on my side, my back is to her. And she's taking her arm and she's hitting me on my, my back to wake me up. She's not saying nothing though. And I think she did it a few times before it actually woke me up. And I wake up and, you know, I'm just laying there facing the curtain in the stereo. And I'm like, no music is playing. It stopped. And I'm waiting, like, what the hell? Because I know about this lady and I don't hear nobody. And I hear this weird sound that starts. And I can't explain it. It's just a weird noise I remember. And so I'm just like, close your eyes. Just go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. And so I close my eyes again and she taps me again. And I'm like, Tammy? You know, I call my cousin's name and she's like, y'all was terrified. I wanted to get up and run, but I remember I would have to run around. So I slowly roll over. Oh my gosh. I saw a figure standing. It looked like a shadow, y'all. I didn't make it out because I got up. I saw a figure standing over top of her. I seen it. I seen what she was talking about. But I didn't make out the hair and all that she describes, the long hair, the woman drooling and it going into her mouth. I ain't paying attention to all that. Once I saw that figure, oh, I was out. Let me tell you, when I got up to make a run for it, do you know she beat me to the steps? Of course she would. She was closest to the steps. And pushed me down. I was so upset she pushed me back. And I like fell off that step. And mind you, she's, 3 times her size at that age. She's a big girl. Big people don't run fast, y'all. This woman is down there behind me. And I'm having to wait because I was about to leave her in she's going to be in my smoke and my dust. You know what I mean? Because like, imagine you're behind somebody. I was trying to lift her ass up and everything. I was pushing on her butt cheeks like, move! Get your big ass up out the way. Oh, I was so angry at that woman. My cousin, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, and then you had the nerve to run slow? She literally snatched me and pushed me, y'all. I was a kid. She was way older than me. Man, when we got up them steps, I gave her one look. I said, don't you ever ask me for any other favor again. And went straight upstairs to my room and left her ass down there. See, if you want to push me, I would have invited you up to my room. You don't do little kids like that. That was evil. That was mean. So, boom, next day come, my mother finds her on the couch. My mom is done. She ready for her to go home. Because she's like, you going to bust my couch up. You can't sleep on the couch. She said, tell her, Pooh. And I told her, I said, Mom, she ain't lying. I saw something. Oh, stop it. Both of y'all full of it. One thing I can say, my cousin wasn't making that up. And I understand, my mother really believed that what I saw was a figment of my imagination because she had planted that thought. When someone shares something with you and then later on at night, go, look. So that's what my mother thought. Oh, you just seeing it because she told you about it. No, because I didn't even look long enough to catch the details. There shouldn't have been no shadow figure in that room with us. But there was clearly something standing over my cousin. I seen it with my own eyes. Did she bring it with her? Or was it part of the house? Because she was having encounters before she got to that house. I think whatever it was that followed her to our house got stronger when it came into our house. Because there was a negative energy vortex there. And I believe it empowered it. It fed off of it. That's what I believe.